Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday afternoon. It's the new normal, which is not Celebration Assembly, but it is another reading assembly. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you've managed to get onto all of the activities that we put on the website and been able to do those and practice all sorts of things at home. I hope you've also managed to get onto the YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that way you won't miss any new videos that go up. Next week, meant to be the Easter holiday, we're still going to have lots of activities there for you to choose to do if you want to, so you don't get bored. As we can't go out and we can't go and have lots of fun out and about in the big wide world at the moment, we didn't want you to get bored during the Easter holidays. So there are some activities there. There'll be some more videos. There'll be all sorts of extra things for you to do, and do as many as you want over the next couple of weeks. We'll carry on with the story. We're on chapter 9, which is the Mock Turtle story. "You can't think how glad I am to see you again, you dear old thing," said the Duchess, as she tucked her arm affectionately into Alice's, and they walked off together. Alice was very glad to find her in such a pleasant temper, and thought to herself that perhaps it was only the pepper that had made her so savage when they met in the kitchen. "When I'm a Duchess," she said to herself, not in a very hopeful tone though, "I won't have any pepper in my kitchen at all. Soup does very well without. Maybe it's always pepper that makes people hot-tempered," she went on, very much pleased at having found a new kind of rule. "And vinegar that makes them sour, and chamomile that makes them bitter, and barley sugar and such things that make children sweet-tempered. I only wish people knew that. Then they wouldn't be so stingy about it, you know." She'd quite forgotten the Duchess by this time, and was a little startled when she heard her voice close by her ear. "You're thinking about something, my dear, and that makes you forget to talk. I can't tell you just now what the moral of that is, but I shall remember in a bit." "Well, perhaps it hasn't got one," Alice ventured to remark. "Tut, tut, child," said the Duchess. "Everything's got a moral, if only you can find it." And she squeezed herself up closer to Alice's side as she spoke. Alice did not much like her keeping so close by, because the Duchess was very ugly, and secondly, because she was exactly the right height to rest her chin on Alice's shoulder, and it was an uncomfortably sharp chin. However, she did not like to be rude, so she bore it as well as she could. "The game's going on rather better now," she said, by way of keeping a conversation up a little. "Oh, 'tis so," said the Duchess, "and the moral of that is, 'tis love that makes the world go round." "Somebody said," Alice whispered, "that it's done by everybody minding their own business." "Ah, well, it means much the same thing," said the Duchess, digging her sharp little chin into Alice's shoulder, as she added, "and the moral of that? Take care of the sense, and the sounds will take care of themselves." How fond she is of finding morals in things, Alice thought to herself. "I dare say you're wondering why I don't put my arm around your waist," the Duchess said after a pause. "The reason is that I'm doubtful about the temper of your Flamingo. Shall I try the experiment?" "He might bite," Alice cautiously replied, not feeling at all anxious, but to have the experiment tried. "Very true," said the Duchess. "Flamingos and mustard both bite, and the moral of that is birds of a feather flock together." "Only mustard isn't a bird," said Alice. "Right, as usual," said the Duchess. "What a clear way you have of putting things." "It's a mineral, I think," said Alice. "Of course it is," said the Duchess, who seemed to agree to everything that Alice said. "There's a large mustard near mine near here, and the moral of that is that the more there is of mine, the less there is of yours." "Oh, I know!" exclaimed Alice, who had not attended to this last remark at all. "It's a vegetable, that's right. It doesn't look like one, but it is." "Oh, yes, I quite agree with you," said the Duchess. "And the moral of that is, be what you would seem to be, or, if you'd like to put it more simply, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it might appear to others that what you were, or might have been, was not otherwise than what you have been would have appeared to them, or be otherwise." I think I should understand that better, Alice said very politely, if I had written it down, but I can't quite follow you as you say it. That's nothing to what I could say if I chose, the Duchess replied in a pleasant tone. Pray, don't trouble yourself to say it any longer than that, said Alice. Oh, don't talk about trouble, said the Duchess. I make you a present of everything I've said as yet. A cheap sort of present, thought Alice. I'm glad they don't give birthday presents like that. But she did not venture to say that one out loud. Thinking again, the Duchess asked, with another dig of her sharp chin. I have a right to think, said Alice sharply, for she was beginning to feel a little worried. Just about as much right, said the Duchess, as pigs have to fly. But here, to Alice's great surprise, the Duchess's voice died away, even in the middle of her favourite word, moral, and the arm that was linked into hers began to tremble. Alice looked up, and there stood the Queen in front of them, with her arms folded, frowning like a thunderstorm. A fine day, Your Majesty, the Duchess began in a low, weak squeak. Now, I give you fair warning, shouted the Queen, stamping on the ground as she spoke. Either you or your head must be off, and that in about half no time. Take your choice. The Duchess took her choice and was gone in a moment. Let's get on with the game, the Queen said to Alice, and Alice was too much frightened to say a word, but slowly followed her back to the croquet ground. The other guests had taken advantage of the Queen's absence and were resting in the shade. However, the moment they saw her, they hurried back to the game, the Queen merely remarking that a moment's delay would cost them their lives. All the time they were playing, the Queen never left off quarrelling with the other players and shouting, "Off with his head!" or "Off with her head!" Those whom she sentenced were taken into custody by the soldiers, who, of course, had to leave off being archers to do this, so that by the end of half an hour or so, there were no archers left, and all the players, except the King, the Queen and Alice, were in custody and under sentence of execution. Then the Queen left off, quite out of breath, and said to Alice, "Have you seen the Mock Turtle yet?" "No," said Alice. "I don't even know what a Mock Turtle is." "It's the thing Mock Turtle soup is made of," said the Queen. "I never saw one or heard of one," said Alice. "Come on then," said the Queen, "and he shall tell you his history." Okay, we'll leave it there for this week. And a couple of tasks for you this weekend and over the next week. The first, I joined in, as I have done for the last 2 weeks, where I live, with the Key Worker NHS clap on Thursday night. And what I was thinking is it would be really great this week if you could send us some photographs of you doing something great for those amazing key workers that are out there that are keeping our country going. So that could be a video or a photo of you on the Key Worker clap on Thursday night. That could be a little message that you write up in your window to the dustman, thanking them for collecting the bins. It could be a message that you've sent to somebody who you know close by, who works in the NHS, or who works in a school, or who works in banking, or any of the other key worker industries. Or it could be a cake that you've baked and left out for the dustman. I don't know. Anything kind. Maybe one of your parents is a key worker. Maybe you could do something kind for them. But a photograph or a video of something that you're doing that is brilliantly kind, one of our key values in the school, kindness, integrity, hard work, something that's really kind for our key workers. So if you could send us photos of that, that would be great. And I'll whip those up on our website as well. The second thing is that Mr. Carminati is really sadly leaving us today. This is his last day at work at Willingham Primary School, and what a sad thing it is that we haven't been able to give him a great big send-off. So, the second job I'd like you to do is to send Mr. Carminati a video of you, get your parents, somebody at home, carer, to take a video of you saying goodbye and thank you for all the brilliant things he's done for you. And again, send those in. We'll put those together in a nice video message for Mr. Carminati and send you all the thanks that you would have given him had we been at school. So if you could do that for me over the next week, that would be wonderful. I hope you have a great weekend. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You've got to be on it already to be watching this video, so click on subscribe and you won't miss any more videos. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will send some more videos next week.